another very un-cowboy thing, and I'm going to put my glasses on. There we go, much better. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you to Executive Director Sarah Bronson and the Board of Directors for this opportunity to share my family's story with Riding to the Top with you tonight. I'd also like to thank the many staff and volunteers who made this night possible, did all the heavy lifting, and there was a lot of heavy lifting to put all this together. Now, of course, I'd like to thank the sponsors who, without their support, it wouldn't happen, and I especially like to thank all of you for being here tonight and showing your support for Riding to the Top. So I have to tell you all, the one thing that really brings me the most joy in life is being a dad. I love being a husband too, but really being a dad is where it's at. Am I right, dads? Yeah. But for me, it's not just being a dad, it's being Scotty's dad. That's really, just about everything to me. But I have to tell you, as I was thinking about tonight and what I might say, what I might talk about, I was really reminded about how close it came to never happening. Before Scotty was even born, it almost didn't happen. That's because it wasn't until a few years after my wife Lisa and I decided it was time to start a family that we hit the mark, so to speak, and it finally did happen. And that alone was in many ways a miracle, because we had learned that there are so many couples that it just never happens for. So we were so thankful when we knew Scotty was coming along. And the day he was born, November 17th, 2000, life changed in ways that my wife and I never could have expected. Not only were we blessed with the overwhelming feeling of joy of being a new mom and dad, finally after years of dreaming about what it would be like, but we also had this overwhelming feeling of sheer terror when the doctors told us that our son had a congenital heart defect that would require not just one, but several heart surgeries in order for him to survive. And I'm happy to tell you that thanks to some great doctors at Maine Medical Center and an amazing tribe of family and friends, we made it through those first few months, days, months, weeks. And it wasn't long. In fact, it was during those first few months that Scotty's pediatrician suggested that we take him to see a geneticist, because she saw signs in Scotty that there might be an underlying genetic disorder. We were shocked. All we could see was our perfect son. But we went to see the geneticist, several in fact, and soon we learned that we were going to be on a different kind of journey. It would be a journey of discovery, and a discovery that continues to this day. Dubowitz syndrome was the diagnosis, a diagnosis that had been delivered only a few hundred times to anyone, ever, anywhere in the world, a few hundred times. That's like a 1 in a billion diagnosis. We didn't really know what it meant, except that we knew things were going to be different than really what we had expected. After those first few years of discovery as a family, there were some things we knew, and a lot we still didn't know. We knew that Scotty was an amazing little boy. We knew he was social, we knew he was affectionate, we knew he was curious, we knew he loved pictures. And above all, we knew that Scotty had this ability, this superpower, if you will, to connect with people in a way that was truly special. Some of the things we didn't know were things like, when would he say his first words? We didn't know when he'd be able to feed himself. We didn't know when he would not need to wear a diaper. We didn't know when he'd be able to stand and walk on his own without a walker. Our search for answers led us in many directions, and when Scotty was 4, hard to believe that was nearly 15 years ago, the search led us to Riding to the Top. We didn't know anything about horses, or that there was a thing called equine therapy. We didn't know what possible benefit could come from putting our little boy on the back of these massive animals. How could that even be safe? Well, pretty much immediately, we learned that not only was it safe, but it was powerful. It was a connection. It was a game changer. And it was different. It was something different from anything else Scotty had done, different from anything we had done. Talk about discovery. And really what I hope to impress upon all of you tonight is that this is different. We've had the great fortune on this amazing journey to have met some amazing people and to have received services and participated in programs from many amazing organizations. Just as I'm sure that many of you have supported a wide variety of worthy causes and organizations. But I'm here to tell you that riding to the top is different. What makes riding to the top different? Well, for one thing, it's not just about therapy for the body. It's not just physical therapy or occupational therapy or emotional or behavioral therapy. It's about all of those things. It's about all of those things and really a lot more. It's about a connection to these amazing horses. A connection that's based in science, but also seems to have equal parts spiritual and emotional thrown in as well. It's a connection that's easy to see, even if it's hard to understand. Now, as far as Scotty's concerned, it's not about core strength or posture or motor skill development or even building confidence. For Scotty, it's about fun. It's that thing he gets to do while his peers are playing soccer or football or rehearsing for the school play. It's something different, and he just loves it. For our family, it's also about community. It's about 15 years and counting of people that we've met, friendships that we've developed, horses that we've connected with for 15 years and counting. And that alone is different. And it's also what makes it so perfect that it was at riding to the top, waiting for his weekly lesson at 7 years old, that Scotty took his first independent steps. He stepped right out of his walker and without any assistance whatsoever, just decided to walk down the hallway. Such a simple thing for most 7-year-olds, easy to take for granted. But for those of us that were there, it was like watching the first moonwalk, a culmination of years of practice and patience. And there's no question in my mind that riding to the top was a big part of why that moment was even possible. It was a moment that I'll never forget. Something else that is different about riding to the top is the cost. Yeah, you knew we'd get there. But think about it, it's not just a therapy center. It's a working farm with infrastructure to care for, and more importantly, these amazing horses to care for and feed, and yes, clean up after. That takes resources and takes special expertise, lots of staff, and even more volunteers, and lots of space. And I mean lots of space. Just look around. And by the way, you can't just shut the lights off and lock up at the end of each day. This is a living and breathing space. Every day, every night, all the time. Then there's also programming, special equipment, and by the way, let's not forget the roughly $50,000 in scholarships and tuition assistance that helps make it possible for families like ours to have access to this life-changing place and the amazing benefits it can offer to individuals like Scotty. Tuition alone doesn't cover it, people. And that's, of course, why we're here tonight. What's also different is the mission-based auction that we're all about to experience. It's a somewhat unique auction process that I hope makes it easy for all of us here tonight to support this gem of a resource, a community right here within our community. Before I finish, the team at Riding to the Top pulled together a short slideshow of Scotty over the years of his riding here at Riding to the Top, and I hope this will give you a bit of a visual illustration of what Riding to the Top has meant to our family over the past 15 years. Roll the tape. I love seeing those early days. And with that, just want to say, please don't forget to buy those raffle tickets, get those final silent auction bids in, and get ready to bid early and often. One of the most unique and different auctions that you've been to, for one of the most different and deserving organizations in Maine. Thanks for being here tonight. You're making a huge difference for families like ours. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much, Scott, for sharing your story, for sharing those photos. Just watching them grow through the years was really beautiful. All right, as Scott was saying, something magical is about to happen as we get ready for our mission-based auction, and so I am excited to bring her back once again, the fantastic Elizabeth.